What is the proper time to count the Omer? What time of the evening? Well, the Torah says, Tzmimot tiyena, that the days that you count should be whole. They should be unspoiled, uncut, unlimited, right? They should be the whole day. And therefore, what we generally take that to mean is that even though I can count Sefiras HaOmer all night long, it's preferable that I count the Omer at the beginning of the time of counting, which is the beginning of the night. And if that's the case, then certainly the people who are in shul, who are together in shul, ready to daven Mariv, for example, they should actually count the Omer, according to this, before they daven Mariv. I mean, there's no connection between davening Mariv and counting the Omer, except that they can be both be done at the same time. So that if there's a specific obligation to count the Omer at the beginning of the night, and that specific obligation doesn't exist for davening Mariv, then certainly we should daven Mariv after we count Sefiras HaOmer. Generally, no one does this. We don't count the Omer before we daven Mariv. And we use the halachic principle that tadir kodem. Whatever is done in a more prevalently, whatever is done more often, takes precedence. It's a kind of a matter of honor. So Mariv, we'd say every night of the year. Sefiras HaOmer, we only say 49 nights of the year. As a result, we give the honor to Arvit, to the tefillah that we say at night, and only thereafter do we count Sefiras HaOmer. We can count, in theory, all night long until the next day, which is usually determined to be alot shachar, the breaking of dawn, when you see light, the light of the sun coming up over the horizon. That's the end of the night and the beginning of the next day. If you don't count Sefiras HaOmer until the next day, until after alot shachar, then you can continue, but you can't make a bracha. In other words, making the bracha every night of Sefiras HaOmer is somehow seen as being the completion of a mitzvah. And if you leave a night out, even though you remember to count Sefiras HaOmer after the dawn of the next day, which is still the same day of the Omer, nevertheless, you can't go back and say the bracha anymore. So that the bracha is understood as being one continuous bracha divided over 49 days. And it's only within that continuum, that you can continue to say the bracha. Interesting questions arise as a result. For example, what happens if a young person becomes bar mitzvah during the days of the Omer? So, he started out by counting the Omer and saying the bracha, but that was a matter of chinuch, of education. You're teaching him to do the mitzvah because he's not obliged to do the mitzvah before he's bar mitzvah. Suddenly, he has an obligation to do the mitzvah. So as far as his new personality is concerned, his bar mitzvah personality, he didn't do the mitzvah for the first 20 days. So can he continue? He made a bracha the first 20 days, but it was a different bracha. It was a bracha that was said in order to educate him to do the mitzvah. And now he's an adult. So from the point of view of adulthood, it's as though he didn't say the bracha during the first 20 days, and he should not continue to say the bracha in such a situation.